At this very moment, you're probably eating a chocolate bar, opening a can of soda, or already thinking about the next sweet treat you'll grab the moment you get the chance. And the last time you had a terrible day at work or argued with someone, your first automatic reaction wasn't to crave a bowl of steamed broccoli. It was sugar, lots of sugar, as quickly as possible. But what just happened isn't a lack of discipline, weak character, or poor self-control. It's the direct result of one of the oldest, most powerful, and most successful biological survival mechanisms in the history of the human species. Our deep relationship with stress and sugar didn't begin a few decades ago with fast food, candy bars, or colorful supermarket shelves. It began roughly 200,000 years ago on the dry, open savannas of East Africa, where a human ancestor remarkably similar to you, dressed in animal skins and carrying a crude stone spear, struggled every day to survive without becoming a predator's next meal. In a world where every single calorie mattered and food scarcity was simply part of life, finding an easily digestible source of energy often meant the difference between survival and death. To understand why your brain still behaves this way today, imagine that you are one of those prehistoric humans walking through the forest beneath a scorching sun. Suddenly, the bushes shake with a loud crack. A massive saber-toothed cat leaps directly in front of you, roaring with its eyes locked onto your neck. Within a tiny fraction of a second, your eyes recognize the threat and your body instantly activates its fight-or-flight response. Your heart begins pounding like a drum, your lungs expand to pull in as much oxygen as possible, and your blood pressure skyrockets as every system prepares for survival. But keeping this biological machine operating in full emergency mode consumes an enormous amount of fuel. Your muscles suddenly require immediate energy to run faster than you've ever run before, or to drive your spear with incredible force. And what is the fastest and most efficient fuel available for your body? Glucose. In other words, sugar. Your prehistoric brain understands this perfectly, so it immediately orders your liver to release every available glucose reserve into your bloodstream, flooding your body with instant energy within minutes. Now imagine that, against all odds, you actually survive. Maybe you escape by climbing a tree or hiding inside a narrow rock crevice. The predator eventually leaves, frustrated. You're alive. Your body slowly calms down as the massive wave of adrenaline and cortisol begins to fade. But now another serious problem appears. Your biological fuel tank is completely empty. You spent almost every available energy reserve just to avoid becoming someone's dinner. If you remained in that depleted state for too long, you would become too weak to hunt, gather food, or escape the next predator. And this is exactly where evolution created one of its greatest masterpieces of biological engineering. Your brain immediately activates an emergency chemical signal with one clear objective: find sugar now. If that prehistoric human walked a little farther and discovered a beehive overflowing with wild honey or a tree full of ripe, sweet fruit, they wouldn't stop after eating just a single bite. They would consume as much as their stomach could possibly hold, because every gram of sugar represented survival itself. As soon as that sweet food entered the body, the brain released an enormous wave of dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for reward and pleasure. Suddenly, the individual felt relaxed, safe, relieved, and incredibly satisfied after narrowly escaping death. This biological reward system was essentially telling the brain, congratulations, you survived the danger, restored your energy reserves, and now you're safe. Those who possessed this powerful instinct survived long enough to pass on their genes. Those who ignored quick sources of energy after extreme stress were far less likely to survive. Our craving for sugar during moments of stress became deeply programmed into the human brain long before civilization ever existed. The problem is that evolution requires hundreds of thousands of years to significantly change even a single neural circuit, while human society transformed almost completely in just a few centuries. That enormous mismatch is exactly why this ancient survival system creates so many problems today. When your boss sends you an email saying, "We need to talk urgently," or when you check your bank account and realize your bills won't be paid this month, your ancient brain cannot distinguish those modern problems from a saber-toothed tiger charging across the savannah. To your prehistoric nervous system, every major psychological stress feels almost identical to a life-threatening physical danger. Your body activates the exact same emergency response it evolved 200,000 years ago. Cortisol floods your bloodstream. Your heart rate increases. Your brain immediately demands fast glucose to prepare for a fight or an escape. The tragic irony is that you're not about to outrun a predator. You're probably sitting comfortably in an office chair, lying on your bed, or staring at your phone. You're burning almost no physical energy at all. Yet your brain still believes your fuel reserves must be replenished immediately. Unlike your ancestors, who sometimes walked for hours or even days searching for a few pieces of wild fruit, modern life makes sugar almost effortless to obtain. You simply open a kitchen cabinet, stop by a convenience store, or tap a food delivery app. Within minutes, an ultra-processed dessert arrives at your door. A single industrial donut often contains more concentrated sugar than a prehistoric hunter-gatherer would have consumed during months of searching through nature. So here's the complete picture. Millions of years ago, our primate ancestors evolved to love the taste of ripe fruit because it provided easily accessible energy. Around 200,000 years ago, early humans strengthened that craving because sugar became the fastest way to recover after surviving deadly threats. Around 10,000 years ago, agriculture dramatically increased access to carbohydrates. And today, the modern food industry takes advantage of those exact same ancient survival circuits to encourage us to consume ultra-processed foods whenever we feel stressed, anxious, lonely, or emotionally overwhelmed. Sugar is not simply a delicious food that you eat for pleasure. To your prehistoric brain, it still represents a chemical symbol of safety, protection, and survival. Every time you reach for something sweet after an exhausting day, you're not demonstrating weakness or poor self-control. You're simply responding to the same ancient biological instinct that kept your ancestors alive through countless generations in the harsh wilderness. The only real difference is that today, we've learned how to manufacture our own honey on an industrial scale.